Hi, tonight from Groovy Entertainment. Today we're going to record play for you. Today, record Thomas Edison for 1978. So let's get started.
Whoever thought we could talk on a phone to people miles away? Whoever thought we could switch on a light and turn the night to day? Whoever thought men could walk on the moon and fly back home somehow? Whoever thought, and tell me what'll people think of now?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, may I have your attention, please? Today, we are gathered here for a very special occasion. We are here to honor Mr. Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors of all time, a man who has been called the poet of technology.
Poet of technology? Now, those are mighty highfalutin words.
Just a moment, sir, let me finish. Oh, Mr. Edison, it's you. Well, let me go on. Where was I? Oh, yes. A poet of technology, seeking out the hidden rhythms of nature, combining them into a symphony of invention.
Oh, symphony of invention. Well, that's pretty flowery language. I mean, can't you make it a little simpler?
Mr. Edison, please, let me continue. Oh, yes. No inventory of his inventions could compass the true dimensions of his achievements. Today, his contributions flow as perpetual rivers of creativity into the mainstream of every industry, every science, every technology.
Well, look now. I think this is getting a little out of hand, young fella. If you keep spouting this way, all the young people listening to us are going to turn off their record players and go out to the kitchen or something. Look, suppose you let me tell them my way. Will that be okay?
Well, I don't know. It's never been done. We're honoring you today. It must be done properly.
I think I can handle it. Okay? Now, boys and girls, suppose I start by introducing myself. I'm the fella he's talking about. Name of Tom Edison. Thomas Alva Edison is the full name, but that doesn't matter. Maybe you're asking yourself why anyone would want to talk about me. Well, I'll tell you. And I hope it doesn't come out like I'm bragging. But I'll tell you, I've had a lot of fun in my life, and I got a few inventions to show for it. What's that? Somebody's saying, what inventions? Well, let's see. You been to the movies lately? That was one of my inventions. Yep. Moving pictures on a movie screen. What else? Well, last time you came home from someplace and walked into your room, what's the first thing you did? Oh, maybe not the very first thing, but I'll give you a hint. If it was dark outside and dark inside, then what did you do? I bet you turned on the lights. Nothing very big about that, right? All you had to do is flick the switch on the wall or turn on a lamp and you've got electric light. Well, that's one of my inventions, the electric light. Yep. Really, a light bulb. Not only that, but I was the fellow who figured out how to get electricity into your home so you could have all the other electric things you've got, like TV and radio and the refrigerator and even the phonograph record player you're listening to this very minute. Oh, did I tell you about the phonograph? I invented that one too. Yep. The record itself and the machine that plays it. We couldn't be visiting together this way right now if it wasn't for that, the phonograph. So that's an invention I'm pretty happy with. Well, maybe you're asking yourself, how did this Edison fella come to do these things? Well, suppose I tell you a little about myself. Nothing very special about me, mind you. I'll tell you one thing, though. They say I sure was full of curiosity. They say I ask a whole lot of questions. They tell the story about when I was a little boy.
Thomas? Thomas Edison? Now, where is that boy? Thomas?
Here I am, Mother.
Where were you, Tom?
Out in the barn, watching.
Watching what, Tom?
Watching the geese, Mother.
Yes, Tom?
Why does a goose sit on eggs?
To keep it warm.
Why does she want to do that?
To hatch them, dear.
What does that mean?
It means letting the little geese come out of their shells. That's the way they're born.
You mean keeping the eggs warm makes the baby geese come out?
Yes.
Well, later that day when Father came home, where is Tom?
I don't know, dear. It's supper time. You better call him.
Tom? Tom? Thomas Alva Edison, where are you? Well, Pa found me in the barn. Tom, there you are. We've been looking all over for you. Tom, what in the world are you doing?
Just sitting, Pa.
What's that you're sitting on?
It's a nest, Pa.
A nest? Where did you get it?
Made it, Pa.
And what in the world have you got under you? Tom, get up and let me see. Tom, it's eggs.
Yes, sir.
Goose eggs. And chicken eggs.
Yes, sir.
What in the world are you trying to do?
Hatch 'em, Pa. Like a goose does.
Like a goose does? Tom Edison, you're the goose. A silly goose, too. Still, you're a very logical one to have figured that one out. Come into the house, Tom. It's supper time.
Well, what are we having, Pa?
Well, it's not goose eggs, Tom. There was another time, Ma and Pa tell of, when I was just as curious. But it worked out a little different. Now, where is that boy?
Last time I saw him, he was heading for the barn.
Again? What's he doing now? I'll go look for him. Hey, Tom! Are you out there? Oh, well, he's probably poking around out there trying to see how something works. Wait a minute. I smell smoke. It's coming from the barn. Tom! Tom, are you there?
Yes, Pa.
Tom, I smell a fire. Tom, what on earth? It is a fire. Here in the corner of the barn. Where's that pail of water? Ah, here she goes. There, it's out. Tom Edison, what on earth were you doing this time? Lucky it was just a little corner of the barn, but you could have burned it all down. What in the world were you doing?
Just setting a little fire, Pa.
But why?
Well, to see what would happen.
To see... Tom Edison, you come here this instant. You come here. Well, Pa sure was angry. And the neighbors say that you could hear him shouting and yelling at me for hours and hours after that. And I didn't set fires after that one. Well, when the family moved to Michigan, up in the northern part of the state, went to school there for a little while. Anyway, I'll tell you something. School and I didn't get on very well. First of all, Mr. Engel, the teacher, used to teach his lessons with a leather strap, if you know what I mean. He was pretty harsh. His wife helped him with the teaching, and she was worse. So I didn't enjoy schooling much. Besides, I like to figure things out for myself, and the Engels didn't have much patience with that kind of thing. So my folks took me out of school, and Mom taught me herself at home.
Thomas? Thomas Alva Edison? You come in here. Time for your lessons.
And the funny thing was, I liked it. Maybe it's because my mother loved learning herself, and I caught it from her. She read me all the great books of the time. History books, Dickens, Shakespeare. By the time I was 9 years old, I could read lots of them myself. Well, one of the things I loved the most was science. I don't know why. Just took to it, I guess. Mother would get me books about it, and I'd go and try lots of the experiments myself. I liked chemistry especially. And after a while, my room smelled just like a chemistry laboratory. But my folks didn't mind. In fact, they encouraged me to keep learning. I was pretty lucky. Well, sir, when I was 12 years old, I went to work on the railroad. I sold newspapers and other things. One day, a very elegant man got on the train with his servant.
Newspapers, apples, sandwiches, molasses, peanuts. Here you are. Get your newspapers here. Paper, mister?
I do not talk to newspaper boys. My servant, Jonathan, does that. Jonathan, speak to the boy.
What do your newspapers cost, boy?
A nickel, sir.
How many have you got?
20, sir.
Jonathan, buy them.
Here's $1. Give me all your papers.
Here they are, sir.
Jonathan, open the window.
Yes, sir.
Now throw the papers out.
Throw them out?
Jonathan, throw them out.
Yes, sir. There.
Well, I'll be darned.
Ask the boy what else he's selling.
What else do you have, boy?
Apples, sir.
Jonathan, buy all the boy's apples.
Here's money, boy. Give me the apples. And, sir, shall I...
Throw them out.
Got peanuts, too, sir. And magazines and food.
Jonathan,
I know, sir. Buy them and throw them out.
Well, sir, that cleans me out. Got nothing left to sell you. Except, I'll sell you this.
boy, what are you doing? I don't want your jacket.
How about this?
No, no.
No, your shirt.
Jonathan, get rid of that boy. Get rid of him.
Away with you. Such impudence.
I'd sell you my shoes, too.
Get away, you horrid boy.
But I need them for running.
Yes, sir, that really happened. And I'm told the passengers didn't forget that trip in a hurry. Well, those were happy days for me, with one exception. I started to lose my hearing. Maybe that's why I began to read more and more. And that was exciting, reading. I spent a lot of time in the public library, reading encyclopedias, science books, chemistry books, a whole lot of things. And I kept working on the railroad, selling newspapers. Well, around that time, well, let's see, it was 1862 and the Civil War had started. One day there were reports of big fighting between the armies of the North and South at a place called Shiloh. Now this was real news, and I had an idea. I figured that the people all along the railroad line in the towns where we stopped would want to read all about it. But how were they going to know I had the news so they'd want to buy my papers when the train pulled in? Well, I got an idea. I ran off to the telegraph operator and made him a business proposition.
Hey, Henry.
Tom Edison, that you?
Yep. Hey, stop telegraphing for a minute and listen. You heard of the big fighting in Shiloh?
Yeah, 60,000 people killed. Bad news, Tom, bad news.
Look, you operate the telegraph between here and all the railroad stations along the way, right?
Yeah?
Well, then you telegraph ahead right now before the train pulls out, and you tell every station to chalk up a sign on the station bulletin board about the fight.
Okay, Tom.
Wait, Henry, there's more. Tell them to say that when the train comes through, there will be lots of newspapers for them to buy so they could read all about it.
Tom, that's a great idea. But you have to get the newspapers, don't you?
I will, Henry. I will. Wait. There's Mr. Story, the editor. Hey, Mr. Story,
What is it, Tom?
I need newspapers to sell. Lots of them.
You usually get 200 for the train trip, Tom. I got 'em right here.
Not 200, Mr. Story. I need 1,000.
1,000?
Well, he gave them to me. Well, meantime, Henry had telegraphed the big news to all the stations along the line where the train was going to stop. I figured at 5 cents for each paper, I'd clean up. When I got to the first station, it was packed with men and women.
Hey there!
Hey there, boy, give me a paper.
Newspapers!
I bet the papers sure have. Boy, what a lot of people. And they all want the paper.
Tom, give me a paper.
They're
boy.
5. Lots of people want the paper. They're 10 cents. 10 cents each.
Where I used to sell maybe a dozen papers there, this time I sold 35. Next stop, there was crowds there too. I usually sold 6 papers there. Well, I raised the price again, from 5 cents to 15 cents. And I sold 20 papers. And so it went along the run that day. Well, I sure made some money that day. But another thing happened. You see, it was the notices on the bulletin boards that had done the trick. And that had happened because Henry had telegraphed ahead. Well, sir, I saw that the telegraph was just about the best thing going. So I made up my mind at once to become a telegraph operator. And that's what I did. I learned the trade, the dots and dashes, and I learned how to receive and transmit news dispatches. It was a great life, and I loved it. I was 16 years old at the time. Let me tell you about one special night. There was a real heavy ice storm, and that made a big ice jam between Port Huron up north in Michigan and the town of Sarnia up in Canada. There was one of the Great Lakes between the two towns, not more than 3/4 of a mile, but still, there wasn't anything that could get across the lake between the 2 points. And the storm had knocked out the telegraph cable between them. Well, there were some important messages that had to be sent back and forth. There wasn't any way to send them. So I went up to the railroad yard and got one of the engineers to bring a locomotive down to the docks. I showed the engineer what signals to use, and he used the whistle to blow signals in Morse code from one side of the lake to the other. Well, 3/4 of a mile away on the Canadian shore, the people on the docks up there all stopped and listened. Well, they didn't know what was going on. Then a telegraph man over there, well, he got the idea. He got a locomotive from the rail yard up his way and brought it down to the Canadian dock. Then he started blowing his whistle back at us. And that's how we got the messages back and forth. Well, I kept working as a telegrapher. Took several years more. Worked in Cincinnati and Nashville, Memphis, Louisville, finally New York City. Now that's when I started being an inventor. And that's what I'm going to tell you about next.
Whoever thought we could talk on a phone to people miles away? Whoever thought we could switch on a light and turn the night to day? Whoever thought men could walk on the moon and fly back home somehow? Whoever thought, and tell me what'll people think of now? Whoever thought there'd be radio sets or movies we could see? Whoever knew there'd be Sesame Street on something called TV? Who figured out how to fly in the sky? Well, someone did somehow. Whoever thought, and tell me what'll people think of now?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if we may continue with our ceremony. Today, we are celebrating the genius of Mr. Thomas Alva Edison, a gentleman who is the immortal symbol of our nation's technological age in the 19th and 20th centuries.
There he goes again, that pretty language. Look, all I did was invent a couple of things. It ain't worth all this fine talk about it. So maybe I'll just keep on telling you my own story. Well, like I said, I kept on working as a telegrapher. I invented a couple of things to make it work better. Then I moved to Boston and made some more improvements on it. One of them was a way to send 2 messages at once. The Western Union Company paid me money for that. And I felt that was sort of a fun way to make a living. So I became an inventor for real. Well, by this time, I was doing my inventing for other people. I figured it was time to invent some new things on my own and build them. So I wandered over to New Jersey, a place called Menlo Park. And there I rented a manufacturing shop. I was 24 years old. I kept inventing, and I kept developing improvements in the telegraph system. Along the way, I ran across some other things. There was a new invention called the telephone, invented by Alexander Graham Bell. I think you must have heard of him. Now, it was a pretty good invention. but there was something wrong with the transmitter in it. It didn't work quite right. So I worked with Mr. Bell and invented something to help him. It was called a carbon transmitter. Probably don't mean much to you, but what it did was make the telephone a commercial possibility, something that people would want to have. So in a way, you might say that I helped bring the telephone into your home, too. Well, now that carbon transmitter thing worked pretty well, but there was something about it that interested me quite a bit. I remember working with one of my assistants at Menlo Park, a man named John Cruzy. I can almost hear him now.
Here are those sketches you asked for, Mr. Edison.
Thanks, John. Now let's go over this principle.
Mr. Edison,
Yes, John?
I don't think it'll work.
Well, look, John, let's give it a try. You never know about it until you try.
All right.
Now look here. Here's Mr. Bell's telephone, right?
Yes?
Now, see this tiny diaphragm here in the receiver?
Yes?
Whenever I talk, it vibrates.
Yes, I see that.
In fact, it vibrates quite a bit. Can you see it move?
Right, Mr. Edison?
Now look what happens if I attach a needle to the diaphragm. That moves too. Watch what happens when I talk into it. Today is Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. You see? The needle scratches grooves into this wax cylinder.
So I see.
Now, if I can play back this cylinder,
Play it back?
well, I mean, get another needle and trace grooves with it.
Oh, what will happen?
I should be able to hear my voice coming back at me.
It won't work.
Well, let's try.
It won't work.
Here goes. Today is Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Once more, John. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Now let's play it back.
It won't work.
Now let's see. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Now, John, what do you think of that?
It works.
Yes, it did work, and it was the beginning of a whole new business for me. But what excited me even more than that was the possible uses of this phonograph thing. I sat down and made a list. Let's see, there was music. Imagine your favorite singers on a record that you could listen to anytime you wanted. There was phonograph books. Well, I mean, people reading great books or lesson books into a record so blind people could learn too. There was recording speeches by important people like presidents of the United States. And there was using records to help young people learn. Even help them learn about people like me. Well, I guess you know a lot of those things have come to be, and I'm mighty glad I had a hand in helping them along. Well, sir, then I got interested in something else. It was light, and most especially incandescent light, or as we used to call it in those days, glow light. Well, now, John Cruzy worked with me on that. I'll let him tell you about it.
Well, you see, when you pass electric current into metal, the metal heats up. And when it heats up, it glows. And when it glows, it gives light. The principle's not too hard, but scientists had been looking for 50 years for a metal or something like it that could heat up without burning up altogether and still give off the kind of light you could read by. I recall working with Mr. Edison in the laboratory.
How's it going, John?
Not well, Mr. Edison. It beats me.
Still looking for the right filament to burn?
Yes, I've tried all kinds of things. Platinum, nickel, chromium, carbon. 1,600 different things in all. Some of them last an hour or maybe two. Then they burn out or fall apart. Did something fall?
Darn. It's that button on my coat. I knew it was coming off.
Oh, there's some cotton thread over here. Here, you can sew it on later.
Thanks. Now, John, what kind of filament are we looking for?
Well, something very, very thin, almost like this thread.
Well, why don't you try it?
Try what?
The thread. We've tried everything else under the sun. Besides, we need something thin. Come on, let me put a piece in the furnace and see how it burns. In she goes.
My, it gives a strong light when it burns, but won't it burn up rather fast?
Look, when it's got carbon all over it.
Carbon on it?
Yes. The black deposit on it from the fire.
Right.
When it's carbonized, it seems to slow down the burning, but keep it at the bright glow. Now, maybe there's a principle here we can use. Let's test it.
We did test it. On the night of October 21st, 1879, we turned on the batteries. The time was about 1:30 in the morning. The men drifted in and out of the laboratory. Nobody slept. Morning came.
Is it still burning?
It was still burning. 11 o'clock, noon time, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then at 3 o'clock, the glass chamber around it broke and the light went out. But we had had it on for 13½ hours straight, and we figured that if it could burn that long, it could burn 100 hours, too.
Well, that light was the first practical electric light bulb that would work. It created a whole new world of light for the United States. But that wasn't all. Everyone wanted this new invention, the incandescent light bulb. But it needed electricity to make it work. So we had to devise a system of creating electricity in gigantic quantities and getting it distributed to all of the homes and offices and factories that wanted it. Well, on New Year's Eve, 1879, out in Menlo Park, we gave the first public demonstration of our electric lighting system. And over the next few years, we were pretty busy, almost full-time, with perfecting the systems of electric lighting and power distribution. We built electric power stations all over the United States and the world.
Thank you, Mr. Edison, for telling us the story of the electric light bulb. But I must remind you that we are here to take part in a ceremony honoring you, and that our time together is almost up, so if I may continue. We are gathered here today to talk about Thomas Alva Edison. A celebration of his genius amounts to a celebration of the genius of our nation. For Thomas Edison is uniquely of our America and of our times. He is an individualist, breaking new ground, a pioneer pushing dauntlessly across new frontiers, exploring unknown continents of matter and energy.
It sounds pretty nice, don't it? Well, I hate to interrupt this fella, but let me tell you about the movies. It was where I had the most fun of all. It was like this. Photography itself wasn't new. Well, I mean, people knew how to take pictures. Still pictures, that is. And of course, you looked at them one at a time. Now, we were discussing it in the laboratory one day, me and one of my assistants, Bill Dixon. Bill, I said, you like photography. How do we make pictures seem to move?
Well, Mr. Edison, there's a kind of trick to it. They call it persistence of vision. It's a scientific fact.
Tell me about it, Bill.
Well, sir, if you take a lot of pictures, let's say pictures of a horse running, if you take a lot of pictures just a few seconds apart,
Go on, Bill.
and then you flash those pictures on the wall or on a screen very fast.
Now, wait a minute, Bill. There's a little time in between each picture, right?
Right. But your eye sort of remembers each picture for a second or so until the next picture takes its place. What you see persists. It stays on in your brain for just a tiny while. Then the next picture comes up and takes its place, and the same thing happens again. It gives the appearance of motion.
Seems to me we have two problems, Bill.
What are they?
Well, now one of them is how to take pictures fast enough to get the sense of motion.
And the second one?
The second one is how to show the pictures fast enough to give the sense of motion. Tell me, Bill, how do people take the pictures now?
They're on separate squares of film.
It seems to me that if there was a strip of film and we could get all the pictures on it in a row,
There is a new film that a man is making in strips. Maybe that'd help.
could be. Who's the man?
He's in Rochester, New York, named George Eastman. He's the man who invented Kodak.
Oh, I've heard of him. In Rochester. Bill, get yourself up there and get some of that new film. Maybe we've got something here.
I got it, Mr. Edison. Now what?
Now we have to find something to photograph. Now, where's that young assistant? What's his name?
Ott. John Ott.
Ott? Come in here.
You called me, Mr. Edison?
Yep. We're going to take your picture.
My picture? What for?
An experiment. Now go over there to the corner.
Here?
No, that's too dark. Move on over to the other corner.
Here.
Well, that's better.
Shall I stand perfectly still?
Now what on earth for?
So you can take my picture. All the photographers make you stand still.
No. This is a motion picture.
Motion?
Right. Well, now, I'd do something.
Like what?
I don't know. Can you dance?
I guess so.
Then do it. And Dixon, you crank the camera. Okay, Ott, go on.
Dear me, is this what it is to be a scientist? Well, all right. Da 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 dum dee da da.
I'm glad nobody can hear this picture. Okay, Mr. Edison, I think I got him.
Okay, Ott, you can stop. Dixon, what's that you said about hearing?
I said I'm glad no one can hear Ott singing with this picture.
Maybe not now. Come to think of it, why shouldn't there be sound with pictures? If I can capture it on a phonograph and capture pictures with a camera, why can't there be some way of putting it all together? I gotta look into that. Well, we did look into it, and we hooked up the motion picture camera with my phonograph machine and made what you'd call the first talking pictures. It didn't quite work yet, so the first real movies were silent pictures. We even made some of our own. It started an industry that's still around today, the movies.
Mr. Edison, I'm afraid we're running out of time. If I may interrupt and go on with the ceremony.
Well, okay.
In honoring Thomas Alva Edison, we honor not only a towering genius, but also the spirit of scientific integrity, the nobility of the questioning mind, the search for knowledge that can make this a better and happier world for all mankind.
Phew. Well, that sounds pretty nice. All those fine words. But if it's all the same to you folks, I think I'll just go back to my laboratory. I just had an idea. It may turn into another invention. I'll tell you something about inventing. It's just another way of using your mind, of thinking. And for me, thinking is one of the greatest pleasures in life. If young people don't think, they're just not going to make the best of themselves. And besides, it's downright fun. Well, I'm sure glad I had this chance to talk with you. I hope we can do it again, soon. So long.
Whoever thought we could talk on a phone to people miles away? Whoever thought we could switch on a light and turn the night to day? Whoever thought men could walk on the moon and fly back home somehow? Whoever thought, and tell me what'll people think of now? There'd be radio sets or movies we could see. Whoever knew there'd be Sesame Street on something called TV? Who figured out how to fly in the sky? Well, someone did somehow. Whoever thought, and tell me what'll people think of now? There'd be tractors and trucks, whoever thought of cars? Whoever knew we'd send rockets up high to soar among the stars? Whoever thought there'd be records like this? Well, let 'em take a bow. Whoever thought, and tell me what'll people think of now?
So that was Thomas A Edison from 1978. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, have a good video. Another video coming out real soon.